Hey everyone, Matt here, and in this video I'll be guiding you through Arpeggiator's Augmented Series 2, mainly using Augmented Strings as our example instrument. Let's dive in. The Augmented Series combines character-rich sampled acoustic instruments with cutting-edge synthesis, morphing them into expressive, cinematic, and often otherworldly sounds. Each patch blends up to 4 sound sources known as parts. These are powered by a multi-sampler or synth engine and are organized into 2 layers, A and B. You can use the morph knob to seamlessly blend between layers and dramatically evolve and augment the sound. Let's check out some sounds from all the instruments within the Augmented Series. Augmented Series 2 comes with many enhancements. First off, it introduces a freshly redesigned play view, along with a reimagined workflow that makes sound design faster and more intuitive. From drag and drop modulation to streamlined effects routing, this version adds powerful yet essential features, enhancing the filter section, the sample engine, and dynamic Arpeggiator for a deeper creative control. More upgrades come with filter bypassing, effects routing flexibility, and a more dynamic Arpeggiator. We'll cover these in detail as we go through the whole instrument. The new play view now offers clear, hands-on control over your sound sources. You can solo, mute, drag and drop for quick reconfiguration, and even randomize each part directly from the interface. You'll also get dedicated macro controls, like morph, which lets you seamlessly morph between the 2 layers of the sound. Then you've got the 3 sound macros, color, time, and motion. These give you quick control over the core elements of the preset. Color shapes the harmonic content, and time adjusts timing and the rhythmic feel, and then motion adds modulation and movement. Finally, there are 4 effect macros. 2 are dedicated to the effects on each individual layer, and the other 2 control delay and reverb on both layers. Let's hear this in action. The foundation of every augmented instrument is a dual layer structure. Each layer, A and B, contains two independent sound generators, called parts, giving you 4 parts total. These parts can load from a wide variety of sound engines, including characterful sampled instruments and powerful synth types. This lets you blend traditional, organic textures with advanced synthesis, all within a single patch. Each part within a layer can load one of 2 core engine types, a sampler or a synth. The sampler gives you access to expertly captured instruments and vocals, ranging from traditional to prepared to fully processed. Meanwhile, the synth engines come in 5 distinct flavors: analog, granular, harmonic, simpler, and wavetable. Let's begin with the sampler. This engine offers focused, high-quality recordings mapped for musical expression. Each instrument in the series spans a wide range, as mentioned, from traditional recordings to prepared techniques and then to more heavily processed versions. Let's hear a few examples of the traditional and prepared sounds. Now, to showcase the process techniques, these recordings have been manipulated through vintage and modern outboard gear, guitar pedals, tape machines, and more. We'll reference a few string examples for this. For their controls, you can fine-tune playback using coarse tuning or a special keyboard offset mode, which shifts the position on the keyboard without affecting playback speed. You've also got a built-in low-pass, high-pass filter for shaping the tone, and some presets even let you adjust microphone distance, balancing close and far mic perspectives for added realism. When working with some multi-samples, their range may not cover the full scale of the keyboard. Keep in mind that these recordings have a defined pitch range. That's where the out-of-range voices option comes into the side panel. You can choose to either keep or silence synth voices when notes fall outside the sampler's active range. Moving on to the synth engines, let's focus on Augmented Strings here. All synth engines within the series come with presets, some unique to the instrument and some shared across the series. Let's start with the analog engine, which provides a classic 3 oscillator design with a noise generator and FM capabilities. Once an engine preset is selected, you can choose different waveforms for each oscillator. You can adjust their volumes, detune them for added richness, and use FM to introduce harmonic complexity. The granular engine slices samples into grains, which can be then shaped and played back in rhythmic or textural ways. The harmonic engine takes a completely different approach, using additive synthesis to build sounds from up to 512 sine wave partials. This engine excels at bright, synthetic textures, vocal-like timbres, and digital sweeps. The simpler engine is a lightweight sampler with looping and FM options, designed for creative manipulation of short samples. The FM control gives you extra tone shaping power by modulating the pitch in real time. Lastly, the wavetable engine allows you to morph between waveforms in a wavetable with additional phase distortion, FM, and wave folding options. This engine is ideal for evolving pads, biting leads, or synthetic vocal-like tones. Each layer features its own dedicated filter. You can choose from 6 filter types: SEM, multimode, surgeon, comb, phaser, and formant. As mentioned earlier, the new bypass feature gives you better control over the sound of each layer. Let's quickly hear that in action. Now let's go through each filter type. The SEM filter is modeled after the classic synthesizer of the same name and offers low pass, notch, band pass, and high pass models with the smooth analog resonance. The multi-mode filter is more accurate, with sharper cutoff slopes and modern precision. The surgeon filter stands out with a steep 64 dB slope, which is ideal for isolating or cutting specific frequency bands. It's perfect for cleaning up the low end or crafting precise textures. The comb filter creates tonal resonances by feeding delayed versions of the signal back into itself. This makes it great for tuned metallic effects or pluck simulations. The phaser filter creates swirling notches in the sound, and you can dial in the number of poles for deeper motion. Finally, the formant filter emulates the resonant qualities of the human voice, letting you morph between vowel shapes and shift them across the spectrum. Each layer includes 3 flexible ADSR envelopes. 2 are used to control the amplitude of parts 1 and 2, while the third modulates the filter cutoff. These envelopes can also be reassigned as modulation sources for any other parameter, adding more movement to your sound design. You can link decay and release times for consistent behavior and use the velocity to time parameter to adjust how playing dynamics affects envelope timing. On certain sampled instruments, like the piano, we include a feature called natural or synthetic release. This lets you choose between a more realistic note-off sound or a stylized, exaggerated release effect. Try combining a fast attack on part one with a slow attack on the other to create swelling pads and evolving textures, perfect for evocative, reactive sounds. Macros are at the heart of performance and sound transformation in the Augmented series. You'll find 8 of them: morph, color, time, motion, FXA, FXB, delay, and reverb. The morph macro is what makes augmented instruments truly special. It blends layers seamlessly and can also be mapped to control filter cutoff, synth parameters, modulation depths, or any other destination that you choose. For Augmented Series 2, we've added 2 new morph modes, crossfade and additive. Crossfade does exactly what it sounds like. It moves smoothly from layer A to layer B with no audio dropouts. Additive keeps layer A at full volume and brings in layer B as you move the morph control. We've also kept the original mode from Augmented Series version 1. It's now called Custom Mode. This gives you full control, so you can set the minimum and maximum volumes for each part and shape how the sound fades in or out over time. The other macros, color, time, and motion, are mapped to groups of parameters related to spectral shaping, envelope timing, and modulation, respectively. Each macro can have multiple destinations, each with a curve and a mount setting, so you can balance and customize exactly how each one behaves. The keyboard section gives you expressive, hands-on control over how augmented instruments respond to your playing, including velocity, aftertouch, mod wheel, and more. We start with the wheel settings. You can set the pitch bend range and take advantage of the new mod wheel feature, which allows quick mapping to morph, vibrato, or a custom destination. Mapping the mod wheel to morph has been a highly requested feature, and it's now accessible both here in the side panel and from the bottom toolbar. Then we have our MIDI input data, like velocity, aftertouch, keyboard tracking, and MPE. You can adjust the curves that shape how this input behaves and map it to modulate almost any parameter in the engine. One of the most powerful aspects of the Augmented series is its fully visual drag-and-drop modulation system. At the center of the interface, the modulation strip lets you assign sources like envelopes, LFOs, macros, and MIDI controls to almost any parameter in the instrument. To create a modulation, you simply drag a source, such as an LFO or envelope, and drop it onto the target parameter. A small colored circle will appear underneath the knob, indicating the modulation depth. You can click and drag to adjust the modulation amount at any time. Next are the traditional modulation generators, ADSR envelopes, LFOs, function generators, and random sources. These provide movement, patterns, and evolving shapes that can breathe life into even the most static sound. Each layer includes 2 fully featured LFOs. These LFOs support multiple waveforms, including triangle, square, saw, and random, and can be synced to your DAW's tempo or run freely in Hertz. You can adjust the LFO's rate, depth, and phase, and choose whether it re-triggers with each note or runs continuously. There's also a fade-in option for gradually introducing modulation over time, which is great for pads or ambient textures. The function generators offer fully customizable shapes, so you can draw your own curves, switch between envelope and looping modes, and use up to 64 points to create rhythmic sequences, stepped modulations, or complex automation. You can even assign one function to control another, making nested modulations easy to build. The random modulators are divided into 2 types. There's sample and hold, which generates pure randomness, and cycling random, which creates evolving sequences. Cycling random can behave like a Turing machine, producing repeated or morphing sequences that feel musical yet unpredictable. You can apply smoothing, change sync modes, and generate per-note random behavior for expressive, generative patches. Every augmented instrument includes both layer effects and main effects. Each layer has 2 insert slots, while the main output includes a dedicated delay and reverb. All effects can be bypassed, soloed, or adjusted using wet-dry knobs for precise control. Layer effects include everything from dynamics and EQ to chorus, distortion, phaser, and spatial effects. These are perfect for shaping each layer independently. For instance, adding warmth to a sampler layer while leaving the synth layer clean and crisp. The main effect slots apply to both layers and are ideal for glue, space, and ambience. There's also a send routing mode that allows delay and reverb to blend with the dry signal rather than replacing it, preserving dynamics and clarity. The FX selector has been reorganized for easier navigation, and many parameters that were previously static can now be modulated. The new built-in Arpeggiator has been upgraded in Augmented Series 2. You now have per-step chance, which allows notes to trigger probabilistically, and a new auto-regeneration feature that randomizes step values at set intervals. You can also define how many cycles the pattern loops before resetting. Each lane in the ARP, velocity, gate, chance, and chord, can have its own step length, enabling polymetric patterns and complex grooves. The chord mode lets you assign full chords to single steps, generating interesting and impactful sequenced patterns. This makes the Arpeggiator more like a creative sequencer, perfect for rhythmic pulses and generative textures. And that's it. That was a full tour of Augmented Series 2. Make sure to experiment with different layer combinations, the wide range of articulations and samples, macro setups, and modulation routings. The possibilities are endless, and the tools are designed to keep you creative and inspired. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.